There are three elements that I see. The first element is the technology. And obviously the technology is exciting because instead of dialing 120 times a day and connecting with 10 people, I dial 300, connect with 20, and I get better results. The second thing is the process, and nobody has really talked about testing messages. You're testing a lot of things, a lot of variables, and the thing that appealed to me instantly when I was exposed to ConnectAndSell was it's a great way to test an advertising message or a sales message or a sales pitch or a unique selling proposition or a price or a product that doesn't exist, and quickly go out and test it. And then there's the intriguing element is how does the technology actually affect people? And what Mark was saying is, you actually can identify the turkeys in the sales force because there are some lucky plotters. As Warren Buffett said, when the tide goes out, you can find out who has been swimming naked. And it's the same with ConnectAndSell. If you give the tool to somebody who who cannot think on their feet effectively, and you mentioned that, Brian, that there's a lot of energy that is necessary in order to have like 10 conversations in an hour, because outbound salespeople are used to connect with only maybe every other hour with a person, right? So let's talk about those three things. Let's talk about the people element. And paradoxically, you say I saved 3 people, and you say I gained 3 people, and you say I'm gonna have more conversations with my CEO. Let's start with Brian. How does the technology affect people? And what resistance did you get in the beginning? Because if I'm on your sales force and see that the boss is coming with some new kind of technology, I would be a little paranoid. What is he up to?
And you'd be rightly paranoid, I think. When we first talked about it and turned it on, it was quite an experience. I don't think we can overemphasize the list hygiene requirement part of this. My personal experience when I first did ConnectAndSell was noticing how sloppy some of our lists were. Despite our best efforts to get them right, I ended up in my first hour of doing this thing talking to the same guy 3 times. Which is embarrassing, but also perfectly understandable if you know what you're getting into. And so I swore I wasn't going to talk to him again, but then the next time he was on my list again. So I had to apologize once more for talking to him. But the other thing is that when you are using it, and I mentioned that I got rid of a couple of salespeople right away. Initially, we had our salespeople all do it simultaneously. And then what was great about using some other tools, I was kind of able to watch their desktops while they were doing this, even though they're remote. And so then we all gathered back at the end and talk about it. And so salesperson 1, he never showed back up in our meeting because he was still on ConnectAndSell. He thought it was like a ride, having fun. The last person gets back in our meeting and says, well, I've talked to 8 people and nobody's interested. And so you say, And then you go a couple more times, and it kind of is the same story with the same 2 people, and you say, well, maybe this last person is not prepared for actually converting. And so it really kind of compresses the time frame to figure that out.
So how did you respond? Did you find that your sales message was not adequate or not consistent, or that they didn't have enough training to get the message across effectively?
Well, the sales messaging is kind of a different topic altogether, and certainly one that is relevant to this. In this particular scenario, I think we just evaluated that we just had the wrong people doing that particular task.
How long have they been in the job?
One of them had been there 6 months, and the other one had been there almost a year.
And did you replace them?
And they were there about another 2 days after that.
So you let him go?
Yeah.
And then?
And then what? And then.
Did you replace him?
No. We just expanded the territories for the other folks who actually were really good and they were able to expand because they got some time back.
And so that you bought time for them, and you
Right.
give them more opportunities and give them a chance to earn more money. How soon did your sales actually start to increase because of that?
Well, you know, I think our sales cycle has been anywhere between 6 months and about 2 years, and I don't Connect and Sell. I don't think changes that at all, at least not for us. But what it does do is start the process with more people more quickly. So we've been using it since October, and so we're right now starting to see lots of closings happening that originated with a Connect and Sell call.
How much is the average sale for you?
Our average sale is $80,000.
So and you're calling on what level of executive?
We're calling on VPs or higher.
Right. And they're usually very busy and difficult to reach.
Almost impossible.
Right.
Yeah.
And what is your, we got some numbers from everybody. I don't, maybe you told us. How many dials before you reach one of those C-level executives?
Our experience is it would take, we'd have to call, you mean individual, like each person? Oh man, we'd spend, 5 or 6 attempts, voicemails, waiting, the whole thing.
Right.
And now we just put them on the list, and we call them every time we do a session, and when we get them, we get them.
Right.
And we usually do.
There's something else that I listened to earlier, which intrigued me, that you were the top executive, and you're using the tool yourself. Was that your original intention when you got Connect and Sell in for your salespeople, or did you discover this sort of by accident?
It was not my intention to do that. Just by accident, I kind of watched it to see how people were using it, and I was encouraged really that I could carve out a half hour, 2 days a week to do this kind of thing, and it has really helped our customer relations. Keeps me right on the pulse of what's happening out in the field. It's been a real good tool for me.
So you increase customer intimacy and hopefully increase customer loyalty.
Correct.
Do you have any metrics to share on that, or is this too early?
Well, I have to think about how to talk about it, but
Right, right.
surely that we could demonstrate
Okay.
that.
Thank you.